What's up? What's up? Beautiful people. What's going on, man? Happy Sunday to everybody. You know, I'm actually going live right now from Facebook and from YouTube. So if you see my eyes going back and forth, then that's why. But today I just want to hop on and have a conversation with y'all real quick and tell y'all about my personal four favorite film directors, at least four of my favorite film directors that have inspired me as a film director and some of their favorite movies of mine. And y'all jump in and let me know who y'all favorite film directors are and if y'all resonate with any of these people that I'm about to talk about. So I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time. I know it's Sunday. I know y'all ready to go watch football. We got Kansas City and Baltimore going at it later today. That's gonna be just as good as the Super Bowl. So everybody definitely gonna be turned into that. So let's get into it, y'all. So I'm gonna say these film directors in no particular order. I'm not saying these are my favorite order from 1 to 4. They're just for in any random order. So jumping out the gate, my first one I gotta say what's up to Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino has been one of my favorite film directors for a long time because his style is just gritty and real and dark. And as a film director, that's just something I relate to. Like, I like to check out his films because I know he's gonna have a lot of blood going crazy all over the place, crazy violence. He's gonna have a little dark humor in there, which I absolutely love. If you check out my film Blood Money, my short film Blood Money, you can definitely see some of the elements of Quentin Tarantino in my films, in that film in particular. So one of my favorite films by Quentin Tarantino is Kill Bill, of course. I think like that's the one that took him from kind of auteur known director to like mainstream known director. Kill Bill was crazy. Like the choreography, the fight scenes, the camera work, it was all crazy. Like it's one of the movies that I can just probably sit and watch time and time again. It's got all the memorable components of it, like the girl assassin walking around whistling that evil dark song. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. Having Uma Thurman in that yellow bodysuit as a callback to Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon. I think it was Enter the Dragon. Yes, it was Enter the Dragon. I think that was super dope. So Quinn got down with that one. Another one of his films I like is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This was, I think, his most recent film, if I'm not mistaken. And I know a lot of people really don't care for that film because they feel like it was slow. But like, if you know Quentin Tarantino, then you know what he brings to the table when he's doing, those slow build up, slow burn type films. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio, it was just a good story. Like, y'all know how I feel about stories. Like, the story is the most important element of the film. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had a great story. It was a great love letter to like the classic Hollywood era. I wasn't alive in the era that was set, but I could like definitely feel myself being transported there by watching that movie, seeing like the old school Los Angeles, seeing just all the things that was vibrant in LA during that time. So I thought that was super cool. Another film I like by Quentin is Django. Django was just crazy, y'all. Like, I would imagine for the general population who's not just crazy into Quentin Tarantino like that, Django is probably the most popular film of his because, of course, it had Jamie Foxx and he was a slave out there shooting white people and beating up slave owners. And, we can all get behind that, right? But also, just the story of love, man. And Django, Jamie Foxx wanted to get his bae back, and he went through extreme lengths to get her back, and he got her back at the end. Ladies, how many of y'all boyfriends would go through those extreme lengths to get y'all back, right? Like, I know I would. Like, I would go through those lengths to get my bae back, but that's what me and Django got in common. But I know a lot of y'all boyfriends probably wouldn't. So shout out to Django. That was one of my favorite films ever. I thought it was super cool. Again, crazy blood, crazy shootouts and violence, and people just getting beat up all over the place. Like, I could watch Django all day. So what y'all think so far? Y'all with me on Quentin Tarantino? Y'all like any of his films? Y'all think he one of the better directors to do it, or y'all ain't feeling me on that one? Y'all let me know while I take this sip of water. And I'm gonna throw in Reservoir Dogs too. I think Reservoir Dogs was his first film, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he had a good like concept with that film. All these guys do a bank robbery together, and then was it the bank robbery? It was some kind of heist that they did together, and then they all start turning on each other. The distrust gets too real, and they all start turning on each other and killing each other. And they all got the cool names like Mr. Green and Mr. Black and Mr. White. They all named up the colors. Quentin is just good. He's good at what he do, and so he's gonna always have a place on my list as far as the coolest film directors, and somebody that inspires me. Second up, my second director that I want to shout out for inspiring me and whose films that I absolutely love is Tyler Perry. Like Tyler Perry, y'all already know this man needs no introduction. He's probably the most well-known, one of the most successful film producers and directors in the whole entire world. Like he's globally known. And some of the movies that like really caught my eye from Tyler Perry early on, the first one was probably The Family That Prays. The Family That Prays was a classic. Like I love the story behind it. How you got this woman who's cheating on her husband, and she thinks she out uppity because she's getting the attention of this rich white dude, and she really thought that dude was gonna leave her husband. She really thought that dude was gonna leave his wife for her, even though through the whole film everybody's like, he's not gonna leave his wife for you, girl. And she like, whatever, y'all just don't know. Like she was getting mad at everybody and what I mean, taking it personal. And then of course at the end of the film, we seen what happened. So that was just a good cautionary tale about how it can go when you get beside yourself and start thinking that you're more special than you really are. And also I like just the introspection about how your own family can be the ones that's preying on you the most. Like literally the family that prays. Like everybody in the Cartwright family was just on some double crossing stuff. But I thought it was a super cool movie. That's definitely one of my favorite Tyler Perry films. Acrimony is another one. Acrimony messed the game up. Like that's probably one of the few films in the history of films since I've been watching them that have people on social media going crazy. Like, was Taraji's character right? Was she wrong? It's like Tyler Perry did such a good job of making you sympathize with her character throughout like the whole first half of the movie, right? And then you rooting for it. You like, oh, that dude, he's such a dog. He ain't shit. He ain't this, yada yada yada. And you really like rooting for Taraji. And then she finally cut him off and let him go. And then dude, gets his big break. And he tries to offer Taraji, like, look, you sure you want to do this? Like, we can bring this back together. Like, one more chance. And she like, no. And then he dropped that bomb on her, like, well, I'm rich. Take your millions, and I'm gone. And like, I thought that was cool. Like, a lot of people was like, well, he should have told her that before, he asked her to get back with him. But like, no, the way he did it was boss because he wanted to make sure that she was going to be there for the right reasons. And she got her bread, so she got compensated for her time. I know there's no amount of money worth your time. She put in a lot of years, but that's the whole point of the movie, is to get you to debate those things, because there's no wrong or right answer. It's just how you feel about the situation. So I definitely thought Acrimony was very well done, and it's one of my favorite movies by his. Another movie of Tyler Perry that I love, I just watched this the other day, as a matter of fact, is not The Family That Prays. I just said that. Daddy's Little Girl, right? With Idris Elba and Gabrielle Union. I thought that was super dope because, like, as a father, I can say that I'm pretty lucky not to have, the mothers of my children aren't crazy. They're actually pretty rational women, which is always a blessing because I know some women are, and it goes both ways. Some men have crazy mothers of their children. Some women have crazy fathers of their children. So for that movie, for Idris to be like a good, dedicated, hardworking man who just wanted to take care of his kids, and his crazy baby mama out here messing with these thugs and got the kids selling dope and just all kind of crazy stuff. It's like, what do you do in that situation? And then you got the extra component of Idris's character. He like on probation or something, right? Because he did some stuff back in the day, and he got to be extra careful. Like he can't go do nothing crazy because then he'll get in trouble and jeopardize his freedom. And so just the way he got to move and be kind of calculated and be able to keep his feelings under check. Like I just thought that was really well done. So shout out to Daddy's Little Girl. Of course, Gabrielle Union was beautiful in that movie. That's one of Tyler Perry's movies that I will watch any day of the week, every day of the week. Excellent, well done movie. And then finally, we got Nobody's Fool. Right. So this is not my favorite Tyler Perry movie, but the main reason I got into it, I ain't gonna lie, is because Omari Hardwick at that time, like it came out right at the time that Power was going crazy. It might have came out right after it ended, or maybe it came out before the 6th season started of Power. But either way, we all knew Omari Hardwick as Ghost by this point. And so to see him kind of play a different character and to switch it up a little bit, that was super cool. I've always been a fan of Tiffany Haddish. I've always been a fan of Tika Sumpter. And so just seeing all them in the movie was cool. I think Tyler Perry did a good job of showing the ladies that, look, ladies, y'all can have y'all little list, right? Y'all can have y'all little standards of the things that y'all want in a man or a woman. It's 2024, so or a woman, just the things that you want in a relationship. You can have this list of things, but at the end of the day, like you got to make a decision for yourself. Like it's good people out here, as he showed in the movie. Like Tika was playing around, and Tiffany Haddish was about to jump up on him. Like even though that was her sister, she recognized the value in a good, hardworking man that's just trying to do the right thing. But because he didn't check off all these little boxes on Tika Sumpter's character's checklist, and then she was gonna let him get away. So I think Tyler Perry did a great job of just showing those dynamics and just illustrating that point. Like Tyler Perry is a master when it comes to giving his audience the stories that they like, the stories that they want. He knows his audience very well. Since he wanted to be in the video so bad, say what's up. Say what's up. Tyler Perry knows his audience real well, and he gives us those hits back to back to back. Now, I will say about Tyler Perry's movies, he gonna kind of play it safe, right? He gonna kind of play it safe in what he do. He ain't gonna take no major risks. And you probably not gonna get like no crazy camera work or like crazy cinematic experience because he plays it relatively safe. Oh, now you ready to get down? Fine. Say goodbye to Peter Griffin. This is Peter Griffin, y'all, because he is goofy, just like Peter Griffin on Family Guy. But yeah, so he ain't gonna give you no crazy like camera movements and all this crazy cinematic experience, but he don't need to because it serves his camera work serves the story well, and that's all you can ask for. So shout out to Tyler Perry. Those are some of my favorite movies by him. The guy is a master of his craft, and he's probably my most inspirational director in terms of what he's been able to succeed and the levels he's been able to go to as a black man in Hollywood. So definitely giving him his props for that. Now the cat gonna have me sneezing. All right, so next up, this is a film director that a lot of people might not even know his name, but I guarantee you that you know his movies. And this is F. Gary Gray. Right. So I've been rocking with F. Gary Gray ever since 1995 because that's the year that Friday came out. F. Gary Gray directed Friday. That was his first film. I don't even need to talk about Friday because I'm sure every single person who's watching this already know that Friday is a cult classic. It's one of the most popular films in the world. It introduced Chris Tucker to the world, and he took the reins and made Smokey one of the most memorable characters ever. And F. Gary Gray was behind that. Like that was a master film and keeping it funny, but keeping the budget low. It wasn't a lot of crazy stuff going on. You just had two guys sitting on the porch, smoking weed and interacting with all the other characters in the neighborhood. So in the hands of a less skillful director, it could have been a boring story, but not the story because the story wasn't boring, but it could have been a boring film. But F. Gary Gray, he knew how to keep it interesting, keep the comedy flowing, to keep the tension going, and to have you identifying with certain characters. So that was definitely a masterwork in making that film. Another F. Gary Gray film I like is The Negotiator with Samuel Jackson, right? So this was not a comedy at all, but it was like a pretty serious, dramatic action film at a time when those kind of films could thrive. I don't really think The Negotiator would be successful today in today's climate if it came out, but at the time, you had Samuel Jackson, you had Kevin Spacey before all that crazy stuff happened with him, and the way they just played off of each other and the storyline and the stakes and the drama, it was all very well done, and I think I won't say that it's one of them films that I just watch anytime because I kind of got to be in a certain mood to watch The Negotiator. But I do remember when I first seen it, it left an impact, especially that scene when I think it was Samuel Jackson who was talking to the white guy, the head of internal affairs or whatever, and he had him handcuffed to the chair, and he was trying to like see if he was lying. So he was asking him a question, and dude would like look up to the left, and Samuel Jackson would be like, "That's how I know you lying, because you're looking up to the left. That means you lying." And the dude was like getting mad. It was crazy, but that was definitely one of my favorite movies by F. Gary Gray, The Negotiator. Another movie by him I like is Set It Off. I bet y'all didn't know he did Set It Off. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did Set It Off right after he did Friday. So to be able to just kind of switch tones and go from this urban kind of lower budget comedy flick to go straight into this urban action drama suspense big budget flick starring these four amazing women, he did a great job. Like Set It Off is classic. Like the emotional impact that that film have. Like I don't care how tough you is. You can be the biggest gangster in the world, but when you first saw Cleo get lit up and she was standing in the car doing all that, and she was like, "Wait," and them bullets were just hitting her. Man, I'm about to tear up now thinking about it. She acted her ass off in that movie. All of them did, but especially Queen Latifah because she made Cleo a memorable character. And she just made us feel like every one of them girls, when we lost them, we really felt like we were losing them. When Frankie, aka Vivica A. Fox, got popped in the back and she fell and was gripping the concrete, and we just felt that, like, no, that's master direction. Like that was all at the direction of F. Gary Gray, and he got them to deliver a great performance. He gave us a great film, and Set It Off is one of my favorite films by him. And then the last film from F. Gary Gray I want to mention is, well, I got two. I got Be Cool. I like Be Cool. I don't know if y'all seen Be Cool, but I ain't gonna get into that one. I'm gonna get into Straight Outta Compton because that was a little bit more recent. And doing biopics, they're not easy. Like it's really easy to mess up biopic films, as we saw with All Eyes on Me. Like the Tupac film that came out back in 2016, it was wax sauce. And I think Benny Boom directed that. And I ain't gonna be too hard on Benny because he had to work with the script in the story that he was given, and it was just a lot of stuff. Like whoever was gonna try to do a Tupac movie was gonna have a very long road ahead of them and a hard hill to climb because Tupac is such a beloved figure, not just in music culture, but just in American culture, worldwide culture. Like he was acting, he was doing music, he was just a figure that inspired confidence and inspiration to people. So whoever had the job of doing that movie was going to have a hard time. So I'm not going to be too mad at Benny, but that is a very forgettable movie. But if you compare that to what F. Gary Gray did with Straight Outta Compton, I mean, it's like night and day. Straight Outta Compton was entertaining. It was very accurate. Like you felt the struggle that the characters were going through. You connected with Eazy-E when he went and tried to get something back from Suge, or maybe Suge came to him. I can't remember. And they jumped him in the studio. Like that man stood with his head high, like, "I ain't no bitch." And like they beat him up pretty bad, but he took it and he handled his business like a G. So Straight Outta Compton had a lot of great emotional scenes like that. Very well done. F. Gary Gray, you're a master at your craft, brother. Like, keep it up. He actually just dropped a film on Netflix called Lift with Kevin Hart. That's F. Gary Gray. He directed that. I haven't watched it all the way through yet, but what I have seen is pretty cool. That's kind of on his Italian job vibes, or his Fast and Furious 2 vibes, because he directed those two, or maybe not Fast and Furious 2. He directed one of the Fast and Furious, though. Don't get me the line, but he definitely directed one of them. So this new film, Lift, is probably right up that alley. So F. Gary Gray, salute, sir. You definitely inspire me. What y'all think so far? I got one more director I want to talk about, but what y'all thinking so far? Y'all seen any of these movies? Y'all like any of these directors? Y'all agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know. If you're not watching this live and you see this later, still let me know, because I'm gonna come back and read all the comments and I want to know what's up. So before we get into this last director, I have to give a major shout out to this last director, John Singleton. Now, John Singleton, if I just had to pick one person's movies that I had to watch for the rest of my life, and it had to be all directed by the same person, I would probably go with John Singleton because John Singleton is the man. He passed away a couple of years ago, so rest in peace, Mr. Singleton. But he jumped on the scene and made a crazy impact with his first film, which was Boys in the Hood, another hood classic. Everybody in the world, even if you don't watch hood movies at all, everybody in the world knows about Boys in the Hood. That's when Ice Cube was kind of transitioning from doing music to doing movies. And so by casting him in the role of Doughboy, John Singleton played a big part in making sure that Ice Cube became an internationally known actor who was just as well known as an actor as he was as a rapper. So that was all John Singleton. But the cast that he pulled together for that movie, Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Regina King, Nia Long, Lawrence Fishburne, like Angela Bassett. He pulled together such a strong black cast, and they all acted their ass off and gave amazing performances. And Boys in the Hood is just one of the movies you can never get tired of watching. Iconic scenes, iconic lines, like Ricky. It wasn't funny when it happened, but people done parodied. They've made parodies of that scene so many times that now every time I think about that scene, I kind of laugh a little bit. But at the time, it wasn't funny, damn it, because Ricky was a beloved character, man. He was going to go play football. He had just got into college, and he was just an actually good dude. He wasn't like the rest of those dudes that was living that street life. And the way he just got taken down at the end for something that really, for the most part, didn't even have nothing to do with him. It was just sad. And again, that was masterful storytelling and directing by John Singleton to make us feel that loss, like he was actually a friend or something. But Boys in the Hood was an amazing movie. Another one of my favorite films, probably my favorite film by John Singleton, has to be Baby Boy, right? Baby Boy was the shit. Like, I will never forget the first time I seen Baby Boy. It was in 2001. It was in August. And the reason I remember that, of course, the film itself was really good. But a big reason I'll never forget the first time I seen Baby Boy is because the moment I walked out of the theater from watching Baby Boy in 2001, I got in the car and turned on the radio, and they were talking about Aaliyah. Aaliyah had just died, so that means she had to die in late August. And then, like shortly after that, 9/11 happened. Like very shortly after that, probably like 2 weeks. So like all these things were just happening like in the world, and for some reason, for me, Baby Boy was kind of like the thing that marked time for me. But as far as the film itself, like it was an amazing film. You had Tyrese. That film introduced us to Taraji P. Henson, who has gone on to become one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, let alone Black women that has been able to get into Hollywood and make it her own. And I know she just, came out not too long ago and talked about the pay disparity between her and what she should be getting. And I agree. I will say that I agree with her because she's a vet at this point. She's a name that's going to put asses in seats. Like if Taraji is in a film, you're going to probably check it out. But this was our first time getting to know her as Yvette and Baby Boy. And she played that role so good, like that pretty girl, but hood. But I'm going to hold my man down, like ride or die, but I'm hood with it. And like everybody wanted Yvette, And I had a super huge crush on her when that movie came out. But you also had Snoop Dogg playing this gangster role. You had Ving Rhames playing that role. And that was like a lot of, as a young Black male at the time. And I felt like the whole dynamic between Ving Rhames and Tyrese is echoed in a lot of people's lives. Like if you have a single mom and she starts dating this new guy, and this new dude come in like he owned the place, like he just a shiznit. And it's like, hold up, bro. Like I was here first. Hold on. Of course, in the movie, Tyrese was a grown man. I think he was supposed to be like 18, 21. I don't know. He was an adult. But the feeling is still the same. Like, hold up, you ain't just gonna come up in here and regulate. And so having that little dynamic between them two, and then they finally was able to respect each other. Just everything that comes with being a young black man in America and trying to survive and make it and navigate the street life and baby mama drama and dealing with your homeboys and trying to hustle and make money. I think John Singleton did a great job of touching on all of that and just kind of showing us how that go out there in South Central LA. And then just a fun fact about Baby Boy, a lot of y'all probably know, the role of Tyrese, Jody, was actually supposed to go to Tupac, but unfortunately Tupac died in 1996, so we couldn't have Tupac as Jody. But can you just imagine how that would have been? Let me know in the comments. Would you have wanted to see Jody played by Tupac? Like, do you think he would have brought the same energy that Tyrese brought? I think he would have. I don't know if he would have been able to bring that same vulnerability, but he definitely would have been able to bring that same like energy. But Tupac then wasn't able to get the role, so that's why Jody's character, if you notice, he had the bald head, dark skinned dude, and then he was a big fan of Jody's character in the film was a big fan of Tupac. He had a big Tupac mural on the wall, and they was listening to the music and all that. That was all a nod to Tupac supposed to having been Jody in that movie, but he died, so he wasn't able to do it. So bummer. But Baby Boy is definitely a classic. And then piggybacking off of that, since we're talking about Tupac, we had to talk about John Singleton's other film, Poetic Justice, starring Tupac and Janet Jackson. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this film came after Higher Learning, which was kind of like a social commentary film. But Poetic Justice was just a straight up story. You got a story of this man and this woman that that's connecting and they trying to see what's going on. Really? They trying to see what's going on and they vibing, but they also bumping heads. And like you got Joe Torre, you got Regina King, and Poetic Justice was a really dope story. Like I really enjoyed it as a film. I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed that film, even though it didn't have a lot of the violence and a lot of the shoot 'em up, bang bang stuff that Boys in the Hood and Baby Boy has. It was just a real good story, and I connected with the character of Lucky because, again, a hardworking black man just trying to do what's right in the world, trying to be good, trying to stay away from the bullshit, and like the world just constantly trying to bring you back in. He just wanted to, do right by his daughter and maybe find a little chick, find a boo thing and settle down. So that's what happened at the end, I guess. It was insinuated, him and Janet Jackson probably made up and hit it off and they had a happy ending. And I rock with that, man. I really do rock with that. Now, another fun fact about that story, allegedly, let Tupac tell it. in that movie, him and Janet Jackson had a set scene. And it was a film, so it wasn't like real sets. It was a simulated set scene. But apparently, Janet Jackson asked Tupac to get an HIV test to do the scene. And he was offended. He was like, what? Like, we ain't even having sex for real. And like he said, like, if I was really having sex with Janet Jackson, I would have got 10 AIDS tests. Like, let's do it. But since we ain't having sex for real and you ain't never asked none of your other co-stars that you had sex scenes with to do that, like, hell no, I'm not doing it. Like, he was offended because I guess he felt like she was kind of like singling him out because of his reputation or whatever. But anyway, that's just a little fun fact about Poetic Justice. One of my favorite movies, one of the most well-directed movies I've seen, and definitely one of my favorite by John Singleton. So that's my list. I do have a couple of honorable mentions. I call them honorable mentions because I like both of these guys' films, but it's like they only directed one film a piece and then they just never went back to directing. And so I had to put them on honorable mention because, the rest of the guys I mentioned have a huge body of work to pull from. But honorable mention, one is Ice Cube. Ice Cube directed Players Club, which is one of my favorite movies ever. Like, Players Club was the shiznit. And when I was a kid, I definitely remember being 10 years old watching ass and boobies everywhere in Players Club because, shout out to my mom. She wasn't really one of those people like, you can't watch this movie. She really didn't care what I watched because I was a good kid. I wasn't out here doing nothing crazy. So we had Players Club on VHS and I watched the hell out of it. And I always enjoyed it. I always thought Ice Cube did a great job directing that film and acting in it. And I always wondered why he never directed another film, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm almost sure that all the rest of the films that he produced after Players Club, he had another director come in. So maybe he just wanted to focus on producing and acting. Maybe he didn't want to focus on directing, because directing is a lot of work. You're literally responsible for everything that goes on set and in the story. And maybe he just didn't want to, have that responsibility. He just wanted to focus on the overall big picture. But Players Club is one of my favorite movies, and Ice Cube directed that. And another fun note for Players Club. So y'all know the character Ronnie in Players Club. That was like the main antagonist that got beat up by Lisa Ray at the end, and she was also the sister of Junior, who, I can't say that R word, but who took advantage of Ebony at the bachelor party, like Junior's bachelor party. Everybody know about Junior's bachelor party. You don't want to be at Junior's bachelor party. But his sister in the movie, Ronnie, was played by an amazing actress named Crystal Wilson. And I grew up watching Crystal as Ronnie because, again, Players Club was one of my favorite movies. And so this whole time I'm being a kid watching Ronnie all thick in that movie and just sassy and beating up people. How about I finally had a chance to direct her, Crystal Wilson. I had a chance to work with her and direct her in my directorial debut, which is called Switch That Love, now available on Amazon Prime. Soon to be on Tubi if you want to watch it for free. I'm gonna let y'all know when that happened. But that was one of the coolest moments of my personal film career, my film directing career. That was one of the coolest moments of that, because I got a chance to direct an amazing actress that I grew up watching, that I had an amazing amount of respect for. Very talented actress, very professional. Like, Crystal, what's going on? I love you. You awesome. It was a pleasure to work with you. And she got a lot of good stuff going on right now too. I think she's in that series, All the King's Men, with Eva and some other people. So y'all make sure y'all go check her out in that. Crystal, you're the bomb. And yeah, Players Club was amazing. And so last but not least, for honorable mention, another director that only directed one film, but everybody knows, is Martin Lawrence in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. So Martin wrote that film and he directed it and he starred in it. He was on his Tyler Perry vibe before Tyler Perry. And I think Thin Line Between Love and Hate was just an amazing film. Like, it told a story of what happens when you play with these women's emotions. Fellas, stop playing with these women's emotions. If y'all ain't seen it by now, and all these movies that done came out, don't do it. It ain't cool, bro. Stop playing with them. Be honest with them. But I love the fact that Martin told that story and told the other side of what comes with trying to be a player, a ladies' man, because Lynn Whitfield character put them paws on him. Homeboy caught a hot one because he was out here playing around. He was sitting in the tub, bleeding, tied up, all slobbering and shit, because he was out here playing games. And he thought he was so cool. Like, Lynn Whitfield character, she gave him the limo. She gave him some money to buy some threads. Like, she was going to let him handle his business. She wasn't trying to tie up all his time. All she wanted that man to do was to come and celebrate her birthday. That's it. That's it. And he couldn't even do it because he had to prove himself and get caught up in the moment messing with Regina King's character, who already had a boyfriend. Like, bro, what are you doing? You were doing too much, bro. And she had to show him what time it was. He caught a hot one. And he was in the tub looking like whatever. I ain't gonna say all that. But I thought Judge Martin did an excellent job with that whole film. As an actor, as a writer, and definitely as a director, telling that story, getting a great performance out of everybody. That was one of the two movies that I know of that had Bobby Brown in it. And, Bobby Brown kind of got slept on as an actor. Like, bro's actually pretty fire. Like, Bobby was fire. He was definitely fire in Thin Line Between Love and Hate. So, yep, I think that's it, y'all. I've been on here for about 35 minutes. I said 15, so I don't went over twice my time. But yeah, those are the guys that all inspired me and whose movies left an impact with me. And it's some more, but I don't want to, make this any longer than it has. But when I make my movies, when I direct a film, when I write a film, when I produce a film, then I definitely keep these influences of mine and just kind of channel them depending on what kind of film I'm making. So that's what's up with that. Also, last note before I get out of here, I just posted this yesterday, but if y'all didn't see it, this is to anybody who has always wanted to make their own film, right? So maybe you have an idea for a film. Maybe you've been wanting to make a film for a while and like tell a story, but you just don't know where to start because the filmmaking process can be kind of like overwhelming and complex. I am offering a live workshop starting next Monday, not tomorrow, but next Monday, February 5th. We'll be going live for 4 days in this intensive workshop where I'll be teaching you how to make a film step by step. I will literally be guiding you through the entire process of pre-production, production, post-production, and I also teach you how to market your film and distribute it so it can get on streaming platforms like Amazon Prime, Tubi, and all these other great streaming platforms out here, and you can actually get paid from your film. So I'm going to be teaching you guys all that. I actually have a post on my page right now. It should be pinned to the top. So if you want to know more about, it's called the Indie Film Playbook Live Workshop. If you want to know more about it, absolutely go check that post on my page. There's a link you can click on in the comments and it'll give you all the information. The live workshop is $200. But if you follow what I teach you and you do what I show you how to do, you will definitely make that money back. I can guarantee it. And you'll have a movie. You can start sharing your vision with the world. If you're a big fan of like Tubi, you see how many like low budget movies end up being on Tubi. But when I tell you that these movies are making bank because people like those movies, like long as the story is good and the quality is somewhat decent, you will have millions and millions of people watching your movie on Tubi and other streaming platforms, and that can equate to a nice little piece of change in your pocket if you know how to market it right. So I'm gonna be showing you the ropes to all of that. I've done this myself several times. I have films on Tubi, I have films on Amazon Prime, all out there in the streaming platform universe. I've been doing this for over 10 years, so I definitely know the ins and outs, and I want to help you avoid the mistakes and the costly mistakes that I've made. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you go check it out. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Happy Sunday. Y'all check out that game. Oh, yeah, let me know who y'all got. I want to see y'all predictions. The game start in an hour and a half, so I want y'all to let me know right now if y'all think Kansas City or Baltimore is going to win that game. Which one of them going to make it to the Super Bowl? Everybody want to see Kansas City make it. I ain't going to lie, though. I kind of want to see what Lamar Jackson going to do. Because I think bro going to be out there looking like Michael Vick, ducking on people. So, y'all let me know y'all predictions. I'm going to see y'all next time. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Much love. Till next time.